Yo, what is going on, guys? We are back today for another video, back for the most popular, most anticipated series on the channel, the monthly tier list update. So we are a little bit late on this one, the very last day of September, but we're here, man. That's what matters. We showed up, we made it just in time, and we got a lot of juicy stuff to talk about today. Before we get to any of all that goodness, I just want to say, this is the first tier list launching with my active creator code. So if you're ever on the Summoners Market and you're making a purchase and you want to go ahead and support your boy Lagacy, all you got to do is type in code LAG, all lowercase, at checkout for your purchase, and a small percentage of your purchase will go towards me for support, a little kickback to some of your favorite creators. And if you don't use my code, you can totally use another creator's code. That way it's just Kabam's not getting all of your money. A small amount of it is going towards the YouTubers or graphic makers or what have you. So yeah, also one last thing I wanted to mention is that I actually did launch my very own Discord server. So a link to that will be in the description if you guys want to join, come hang out. It's still in its early stages. It's basically just kind of a chat room right now, but you can come hang out with us. Super good vibes in there so far. Got my emojis in there so you guys can chat with those, share whatever, ask me whatever, just have a good time. So yeah, those are our first rounds of disclaimers. All right, round 2 of our disclaimers, of course, is the tier list disclaimers. So let's get into that real quick. Let's talk about what everything means. So the little recycle icon means champion has been reworked / buffed. The up arrow is promotion, down arrow demotion. New means a completely new entry onto the tier list. These are typically our new 2025 champions. And then we have the emoji, another emoji legend here. So this is the robot arm, means they want to be awakened. The shield, and depending on how many shields, means how good of a defender they are. The graph going up means they want those higher SIG levels, like SIG 150 and on. The ninja cat here means this champion takes some skill to play. You can't just pick them up and immediately have the champ mastered. The little rock guy here means that this champion has a very powerful relic interaction. You should absolutely have a relic applied to them, probably even more of a specific one. Then here the little skull means ouchie's friendly. This is in regards to the offensive mastery tree, the liquid courage, double edge, and recoils. This means champions that has this emoji is friendly and better with those masteries. And then the little lock just means that the champion is restricted currently and does not exist as a 7-star. They're either locked as a 6-star or in some cases even a 5-star lock, such as Quake and Magic. And then of course the final disclaimer is that please take this tier list for what it is intended to be, and that is just a rough guide to help you on your journey throughout the battle realm. Whether you're faced with a rank up decision or a Crystal Nexus choice, you can refer to the tier list and just get a rough idea of, oh, maybe I should go with that champion, or maybe that champion is a little bit better than that champion in a bunch of scenarios across the game. But this game is huge and very hyper specific, coming down to champions' abilities, nodes, all that kind of stuff. A lot of it very much so depends on a case-by-case basis, which champion is the right tool for the job. But this is just, again, a rough guide to the entirety of the catalog of champions and Marvel Concept champions. All right, let's go ahead and get into our 2est new additions to the list. All right, guys, starting in the Mutant Class, we have our latest champion added to the game, and that is Cassandra freaking Nova, dude. The big baddie from Deadpool and Wolverine, like one of the most broken on-screen Marvel characters that we've seen so far, and we've seen some freaking insane stuff, man. So like I didn't even know this character existed before seeing that movie, and her being the sibling of Professor X, like of course everyone knows who Professor X is, so that's just like a great tie-in to like beginning to understand the character, so like it didn't even feel that foreign, even though it was a brand new character I've never heard of. It's like, oh, they shared a womb. She shared a womb with Professor X. Okay, it makes sense now. She's bald. I can see it. It's like, okay. But I was really surprised that they added her to MCOC, especially like months and months and months after the movie came out. It would have been so cool if we got Cassandra Nova like a month after the movie. Maybe they don't want to release it the month of the movie because spoilers, but like the next month, I don't know. I feel like that would have made a bit more sense. I don't know. But regardless, glad we're getting her. And she's landing in a very good spot on the tier list for debuting, and that is the Beyonder tier S+. So, I've actually seen some people not liking Cassandra Nova so much after pulling her, and I do see some valid feedback that they're giving about the playstyle and everything. But from my perspective, I think she absolutely deserves this ranking. I feel like the community maybe is ranking her a tier below, around God tier, but I'm ranking her a little bit higher. Maybe that's what's going on here. I also could just be maybe ranking her a little bit too high. She might need a demotion, but I tested her, completely made a video testing her, and I really enjoyed playing her. Really enjoyed the play style. She's easily the best counter to Nick Fury now, which is great. Well, other than Deadpool X-Force, actually, I would say high Sig. Take some Sig investment, but yeah, because that's the nice thing about Cassandra Nova. She doesn't need Sig 160 to counter Nick Fury's Second Life. So that one matchup alone really, I think, puts her up here. But she's good against like the entirety of the skill class, dude. Just really, really great for a lot of skill defenders. Plus, she is absolutely a dual threat. I've fought her a couple times in Battlegrounds, and the first time, like, I got wrecked. I got sauced, man. So I definitely think she can catch people off guard. I don't think she's like, the new Domino or anything. But I think she's pretty good. I think she's pretty good. Actually, I just realized, looking at this, I'm like, yeah, I think she only warrants one shield, and I still believe that. But I think Jean Grey might warrant another shield, because Jean is, a bit of a mean Jean on defense sometimes. But yeah, man, that is where Cassandra Nova's ranking. So she's got the new emoji, brand new addition to the list, one shield icon because she is a good defender, and she also does want to be awakened with that awakened ability here. When she would inflict a personal neuroshock, she deals a burst of energy damage that scales with base attack only. Then while channeling, you're reducing incoming damage from non-special 3s, double while fighting skill champs, and then when inflicted with bleed, refresh Cassandra's 3 oldest personal regeneration passives. Now this dude, this is crazy. Another one of her absolute money matchups. I feel like I've never heard anyone else say that. I feel like I've made that term money matchup, and what that means is just like, it's a perfect matchup, for this champion, a money matchup. I think I came up with that. I don't know, but I like the sound of it. But yeah, one of her absolute money matchups is against Yelena. A very new skill defender that has already gotten another mutant counter. It's going to be on the next month's tier list, of course, and that is Silver Samurai, who also counters Yelena. But before we got him, we had Cassandra Nova, and yeah, I think she's just easily one of the best Yelena counters for sure. Just seemed like just like a free matchup, almost like when you take her against Yelena. So she counters Yelena and Nick, two of the biggest threats in the skill class currently. So I think that's really great. Plus she is a defender on top of all of that. I like her. I definitely don't think she's better than Jean. Like, not at all. Not even close. Jean reigns supreme easily as the best mutant of the year. Easily. No one's touching her. But Cassandra Nova, I think, deserves S+. She made the tier. Alright, so that is Cassandra. Let's go move on to Solvarch. Alright guys, jumping down to the tech class, we have Solvarch landing in one tier below Cassandra Nova in the God tier. So, I made my testing video with Cassandra, but I don't have her. I haven't pulled her yet from the Titan, since testing her when she first came out. Whereas Solvarch, when I was pushing Battlegrounds for the Brawl, I was able to get some more of his pieces, placing pretty high in Celestial. So I managed to get him, fairly early on. And I decided to take him straight to rank 4. But this was, that's from after very much so disliking him. After my initial test with him, I did not like him at all as an attacker. But I took him to rank 4 for purely defensive purposes for the Battle Round Brawl to try to qualify. And I was trying to just really stack my deck with crazy defenders that aren't the most common, that I think are underrated and are just going to win me matches. And man, I can absolutely tell you that was a big brain plan. 1000%. Totally worth the catalyst, totally worth the rank up. I gave Solvarch 2 shields because, man, if they don't have, like, Thanos is one of just, like, the champs that is really good for counter Solvarch, and, like, Cull Obsidian's the other one. Like, if they don't have those 2 champions, Solvarch's going to do good work for you on defense. He's probably going to cook. If they have either one of those 2 champions, they can very easily just insta-nuke Solvarch. But, of course, every champion has counters. That's to be expected, you know. But yeah, if they don't have like one of those 2 champs, like Solvarch is going to do really, really good for you. And I even had some cases where someone's using Thanos against him, and Solvarch still cooks somewhat. So yeah, it's not to say he's like the best, most perfect defender, but man, his win rate for me is extremely high on defense. Extremely high. He has surpassed the expectations I had. My expectations were pretty high for him as a defender, and they were easily surpassed. So I'd say Solvarch was primarily landing here as a defender, but that's not to discount his offensive potential. And you know, I was debating actually putting in the Ninja Cat, but I decided not to because it wouldn't make sense. What would make more sense is like a cat with glasses reading a book. And that emoji, that doesn't exist right now, but that emoji, what it would mean is just that the champion, they don't take skill to play so much, as they just take knowledge and understanding to play. Because that's what I think about Solvarch. You know, it's really just, you need to understand how he works and the best rotation to play him. There's really no skill involved in playing Solvarch. It's just understanding the rotation and knowing which rotation to use for whatever fight you're in. And what I realized, and I think I remember Karate Mike saying like the same things. He didn't really like Solvarch either when he was first testing him, but then he realized the play style with Solvarch on attack, and his play style is so simple and fun and effective, and that is just build your power. You know, he's an Eidol, our 3rd ever Eidol in game, so he has the fractured power bar, which also makes him a bigger threat on defense, I would say. I dislike fighting the fractured power bar champions because you don't know which special they're gonna throw. I've literally had Solvarch, I pushed him to 3 bars, I'm like, oh crap, I'm about to get special 3, and then he throws a special 2, and I'm like, huh? What? Like, it is weird. So like, just the unknowing of what special's coming your way, like, I think is just a plus on the defensive side of things. Where was I going with that train of thought? Solvarch, defend. Oh yeah, attacker, right. So when you're playing him on attack, you know, you just build your power, you spam the special ones, then you start spamming special ones. Build like 2+ bars of power, and then you just start spamming special ones. And like, that's all you gotta do. Just keep rotating the special ones, and then you can build up to a massive damage on the special 3. So, it's kind of cut off here, but this attack gains up to 42,000 attack rating based on core charge. At the end of this attack, consume all of Solvarch's core charges and enter absorb mode. So like, I did that in Alliance War. I got hit by a Domino special 3, then I returned fire with my special 3, and it did like over 300,000 damage or something stupid. It was awesome, dude. It was freaking awesome. So like, I like that he has this, you know, big build up and then payoff with the special 3. If you want to go for that, you know, but just spam. And the special 2 like has, you know, some, can do some damage to special 2 as well, but I don't really like doing that. I prefer to just use the special 1 and 2 just to control the fight and to primarily control the power. Like, Solvarch has incredible power control, man. Like, you get off your special 2 in the right mode and you apply a power drain debuff, and it just lasts so long. Like, you don't gotta worry. And then, you'll never push the opponent to 3 bars. Like, you'll push them 3 bars, and then they'll immediately get drained, like, right below the moment, like, the frame you stop attacking. So, like, they can't even throw the special 3. The power control's there. The utility's there. It's just knowing how to put it all together and use it. And that's still something I struggle with a little bit. have a pretty good understanding of Solvarch, and I've been able to cook with him fairly well. But again, primarily a defender for me. But I have brought this guy to Alliance War a couple times, and every time I have, again, he just did a phenomenal job. He is an Onslaught Slayer. So if there's ever any Onslaught bosses, mini bosses, what have you, Solvarch is a great option for them. I fought a Onslaught, first time using Solvarch in War, I fought an Onslaught mini boss on Hazard Shift, which had Hazard Shift Bleed and Cold Snap. Now, Solvarch is not immune to Cold Snap. He is immune to Bleed and Poison, but not Cold Snap. But it was fine, because the energy damage from Cold Snap was just, like, ramping me, and, like, I didn't even lose that much health. Like, it was, because he heals from the energy damage that he takes as well. So, like, just so much utility in Solvarch. The damage is there. You just really need to build it up for the big payoff. But, man, the utility is crazy. Honestly, the more I'm talking about this guy, the more I'm thinking, like, damn, maybe he should go up a tier. But I'm going to leave Solvarch in God tier for now. I do absolutely think there is room for improvement. But yeah, man, I think he's a phenomenal defender. And I think he's a great utility-based attacker that is quite underrated currently. That's what I think about Solvarch, man. You know, having him at a rank 4 level, awakened. That's my thoughts on how I see Solvarch. And again, the investment was absolutely worth it for defense. 100%. If you're thinking about ranking up Solvarch for defense, it's a good idea. Don't be afraid to do it. So those are our two brand new champions. Now let's transition over to talking about some of the most recently buffed champions in M.O.D.O.K, Yondu, and Patriot. Alright guys, so up first we have like the longest rebalancing cadence ever. Patriot. This man took over 1 full year to be rebalanced, which is just such a long time for a mobile game, you know, and to wait over 365 days and for him to go from the solid tier to the amazing tier. It's like, I waited all that time for that? Really? Yeah, I never thought Patriot was any good at all. Now he's like alright with his buff. Still nothing special. Yeah, he's maybe he could go God tier. You guys could maybe convince me of that, but I don't think it'd be possible to convince me of any higher. But to any of the Patriot lovers out there, drop his defense in the comments below. Why you think he should be promoted? Yeah, man, freaking Patriot. I almost have like a natural Sig 200 Patriot. Maybe I should rank him up. No, I'm not gonna. All right, but that's Patriot. All right, now back to the tech class to talk about Yondu. So Yondu going into the amazing tier, but honestly, I think there is a decent amount of room for him to go up to God tier. He's got ruptures now. He seems a lot more reliable. But still, definitely not what I was hoping for. You know, like, I've wanted Yondu to get buffed for a long time, and I've thought about, like, how I would buff him. And, you know, like, critical bleeds, or if you're going to switch to ruptures, you know, critical ruptures, like, that should absolutely be in Yondu's kit. He should be having such thick, fat, incredible damage over time with that Yaka arrow just piercing, you know, the opponent's weak points. Man, I feel like Yondu should absolutely have, like, some insane armor break, armor shatter shenanigans with just insane, super potent critical damage over time. So that's what I'd want to see on a Yondu, man, and it's better. Solid tier to amazing tier. The other thing to keep in mind is that Yondu right now is currently locked out of being a 7-star champion. So we can only really see his potential as a 6-star. If he would have been added to the Summoner Fest selector with M.O.D.O.K and Patriot, you know, that would have been cool. And maybe he would have been higher. If we saw like some crazy 7-star rank 4 gameplay, you know, maybe he cooks. But for right now, he's locked. Amazing tier. But again, if any of you guys love Yondu and think he could go higher, drop me a comment. That is how meaningful change is made on the tier list, with your guys' comments. Alright, and then let's jump up to the science class, and then we have M.O.D.O.K, also in the amazing tier, but he made a 2-tier jump. He was originally in the mid tier, and then boom, he jumped jumped up 2 tiers from solid to amazing. So, there is room for M.O.D.O.K to go higher. Not much. Very tiny amount of room. But I do think M.O.D.O.K is quite underrated right now by a lot of people defensively. You know, his buff was a primarily defensive buff. He's really not that much better on offense from my own testing. From what I can tell, he feels pretty much largely the same. But he definitely is very different when you're fighting against him. And so that's why he's got 2 of these shields. M.O.D.O.K was always a good defender. Now I would say he's a great defender. And I do think people are underrating him. But at the same time, I don't want to get too overzealous here and put him too high. So I think amazing tier is a pretty good spot for all 3 of these buffs, actually. They all ended up in the same place. So let me know what you guys think about that. Do you agree? Do you think... Which one of the 3 do you think is the best of the buffs? I do think it is M.O.D.O.K, personally. But still need more time. Time will tell, you know. But let me know what you guys think of the 3 champs that were buffed and where you'd rank them. All right, let's go ahead and just dive into our promotions and demotions now. Again, primarily made via your guys' comments. I read through all the comments on every single tier list before making the next tier list. I tried my best to reply, or at least, you know, drop a heart on your guys' comments. But yeah, man, I go through each and every single comment, every single thread of comments. I look at all of them before making the next month's tier list. So if you guys want your comments read, you want your feedback read, these are the best videos to drop a comment on. Let me know what you think, what should change, and just give me a good reason why. And of course, just be nice about it. There's no need to come in being a jerk. All right, so with science, there's just one change, and it was by far the most commented comment on the last tier list. Anti-Venom. There's so many of you guys commenting about Anti-Venom. He did get promoted in the last tier list, but you guys are just like, yo, that he's not enough. He's so good, he needs to go higher. So I'm like, all right. So boom, Anti-Venom landing in the Beyonder tier S+. So big promotion for him. I did see like some people trying to say that Anti-Venom is the best buff out of the Rebirth, and I just like... not trying to discredit or discount anyone who thinks that or Anti-Venom in the slightest, but saying that is just disrespectful to Cull, dude. Speaking of, let's switch to Cosmic, and we have Cull Obsidian being promoted to the 1 above all tier. Why? Because this dude might just be the best Battlegrounds attacker in the game currently. That's going to be one of my upcoming videos. I'm going to be doing like the top 10 best attackers and top 10 best defenders in all of Battlegrounds, kind of like regardless of meta, you know, meta allowing, of course. But, you know, when I was kind of getting the idea for that video and just kind of like thinking in my head, like what roughly the list would look like, I think Cull Obsidian, he's getting ranked like at least minimum top 3, but probably spot number 1 or 2. Because if you draft Cull Obsidian and he's feasibly usable against the opponent's defender, it's essentially a win condition. Like drafting Cull can be a win con, just a win condition. Like you use your Cull correctly, you're gonna win the round, and it's like a free round. Like it's so crazy. And I've heard some people that really dislike that, and I get it, but man, I love it. I freaking love it, man. You know, I was early on Cull. I tested him when I first saw the buff, and I saw the potential. You know, even before he was buffed, I was like, he's already a Zola counter. Like, I'm very intrigued with what they're gonna do, and like, bro, they made him into such a machine. Like, I'm worried. I'm genuinely worried now with the whole, you know, Spider-Woman fiasco. Also, funny thing is that when I first put Spider-Woman in this tier, some people were trying to say, no, she doesn't deserve it. And now, all these months later, Kabam's nerfing her because she's so good. So, yeah, I just want to say, your boy knows what he's talking about with these rankings. months in advance. But anyways, Cull Obsidian, man, I am genuinely a little bit worried when it comes to rebalancing, because, you know, all buffs now are subject to like a separate rebalancing program, essentially. So yeah, they can absolutely tone Cull down, and I'm worried they're gonna, because he's really that good that he could warrant some type of toning down. I hope they don't, because I love him. I love him. I love just going stupid and finishing fights in 25 seconds. Is it skill based? No. Is it super fun? Hell yeah, man. Like, especially like so many times on stream, even now, like my last stream, I used Cull, and then chat's just like, oh my god, WTF, like chat blows up when you get like a 22-second fight with Cull. You know, like, that is awesome. It's fun, it's hype. I love seeing chat blow up like that. And that's recent. Like when Cull first came out and we were doing these fights in under 30 seconds, like everyone was in disbelief. It's crazy. And some people were even calling him the meta merchant, basically, you know, insinuating that Cull was only good because of the nodes, because of the foresight and the fight or flight. But no, in a meta where there's absolutely zero benefit to him, he's still easily one of the best attackers in the entirety of the game in the most competitive solo game mode. So if that doesn't justify one above all tier, like, I don't know what does. And like even outside, and that's not even like what he's meant for. Like, stay with me for a second here. Cull is a ramp up champion. His max ramp is 10. You can't ramp in Battlegrounds. So like, his buff was Battlegrounds oriented, but like Cull's kit is not intended for that. You know, it can work for that, it's good for that, but he's intended for longer form content, multiple fight content, so he can ramp. And in those quests, oh my god, dude, you get a freaking 10 charge Cull, and he's doing Realm of Legends fights in 20 seconds, like at rank 2 as a 7-star, let alone a rank 3 or a rank 4. Like, it is unreal, dude. So I think Cull absolutely deserves this. I was tempted to promote him this high on the last one, but he had already made like a 3-point jump. Like, I think Cull was down here before, so bro has jumped so many tiers. You know, I just didn't want to get too overly ambitious, but another month has gone by, and my power and belief in Cull has only gone higher. So yeah, this is 1000% deserved. What else is deserved? Carolina Dean. So I had a comment on my last tier list saying that this guy was basically saying it's whack that I rank some champions on the tier list without having actually playtested them myself. And Carolina Dean was exactly one of those types of champions. And I tried to tell this guy, like, hey man, listen, I have a process, I have a way of doing things. I don't always test every new champion. And the reason for that is because sometimes the stars align. And Carolina Dean is a prime example. Stars, literally, because she's like the power of the sun. But anyways, like, I didn't test Carolina Dean at all early on. You know, I was so focused with testing Nico, you know, and just for me, like, Nico was so overshadowing of Carolina that I never really paid her too much mind. But then, you know, of course, that's especially in those instances, that's where your guys' feedback and comments are very important for placements. But so, you know, I basically never played Carolina. And then now I just recently pulled her from the Titan. So I had never played her, this brand new champion, and the entirety of the community, like, is hype about her. And me, like, I'm still unsure, because I haven't actually played her. And that, man, that's a magical feeling. And then I was live on stream with you guys, and I was dead set on rank 4ing Okoye. And then I put it to a vote, and you guys voted for Carolina. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm going to rank for Carolina. You know, I thought I should have done Okoye in the moment. That was the plan. But I was like, all right, we'll do Carolina. Everyone's hyping her up. Everyone says she's good. We'll do her. Now, after having taken her up to rank 4 and playing with her, I have completely fallen in love. Completely fallen in love. And it's like this magical feeling, because I've never played the champ. So, like, it's a first-time experience, and it's wonderful, you know? Like, doing this as a job, you lose out on some of the stuff. Like, you know, like, I'm sure you guys, like, oh, I'm just going to open some crystals right now to make myself feel better, for any plethora of reasons. For me, it's like, if I want to open crystals, it's like, if it's an important crystal I actually want to open, it's like, oh, well, I need to record this. I need to make this into a video, you know? So, like, it's just really nice. Really nice when I get my hands on a champion that I've never played, and I just fall in love. Like, it's this really nice magical feeling that is very rare, and it seldomly happens, but when it does, like, it's wonderful. And so now I can put Carolina Dean in the one above all tier with like 1,000,000% certainty in my heart and my mind, because I know this is where she belongs after having all of your guys's, secondhand testimony, and now my firsthand actually playing her is like, whoa, wow, and it's like I'm so certain in this ranking. So yeah, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys either. Like, I don't play every new champ and every champ that is on the tier list. There's a lot of champs in this game, man. That's the way it goes, and that's again why your guys' feedback and comments are so important to this whole process. But yeah, man, that is Carolina Dean. I've really been loving her as an attacker. She's like an all-right defender too. Actually, I should maybe give her one shield. She's like an okay defender. But man, she does so many different matchups. Like, to give you guys, I'm working on a Carolina vid right now. I played like Battlegrounds for a couple hours last night, literally just trying to get Carolina gameplay. Like, that was literally my only. I don't care if I win, I didn't care if I lose. I just wanted Carolina gameplay, and I got quite a bit on some very, very meta champs. Like, let me give you guys. Nah, I don't want to tease too much. I gotta save it for the video. But one of the matchups that I really like is against Deathless Thanos. So Deathless Thanos is super crazy in this current Battlegrounds meta, and Carolina can totally manhandle him. Like, it's crazy what this chick can do, man. Yeah, that's Carolina. And, like, I had only 3 champs in the Cosmic class for a long time, and some of you guys have been like, like, Medusa should get promoted, maybe this champion should get promoted, and I was like, nah, it doesn't feel right yet. Like, this feels right. This is the perfect 5 champions for this tier. I'm so glad I didn't try to put anyone else in, then I would have to demote them. Like, no, this is perfect. Perfect. Top 5 best Cosmic champions currently in-game. This is undisputable for 7 stars. There's no disputing the power of these 5 champions. They clearly are standing on a different level than, everyone else here. Just clear as day in my perspective. So I'm really happy with how the Cosmic class is looking here on this tier list. Then we had a couple more promotions. So we had a smaller promotion with Carnage from the Solid tier to the Amazing tier. And then we had 2 promotions from the God tier to the Beyonder tier via your guys' comments. One guy made a comment. He's like, how did he say? He was like, it's my weekly or my monthly request, tier list request. Please promote Hyperion. Something like that. And then there's a couple other comments talking about Scream and saying that she's, she pretty much scales to Medusa, if not above. So I was like, yeah, that's kind of fair. I guess if Medusa's here, Scream should be here too. And like, these are the only 2 champions in this tier that like I feel like could really get the promotion. So yeah, we gave them the promotion. Hyperion, Scream, looking really good here. And like, the room was made with these 2 getting promoted, so it also felt good from that perspective. So yeah, man, I'm really liking how our Cosmic class is looking right now. All right, let's go ahead and move on to Mystic. So, Mystic, no changes. I definitely thought about a couple of champs here. There's one comment. There's actually quite a few passionate comments in the Mystic class. One was about Sasquatch. I basically told the guy, I'm like, bro, listen, Sasquatch used to be higher on the tier list, but the science class is just so strong. There's so many good science attackers. And, they just keep releasing more, like Human Torch. They're releasing him as a 7-star now. Like, all that is just lowering Sassy's stocks. It's just making him a less used and just a worse overall defender. And if Sassy's defensive abilities stocks are going down, that's the reason he's in decks. Like, people aren't going to bring in Sasquatch just because he's a little underrated on attack if he's not getting much use on defense. So that's why Sasquatch is down here. He fell off. He quite literally fell off. A couple years ago, he used to be one of the best Battlegrounds defenders. Now, he's not even close to top 10. Like, not even close. So that's why Sasquatch is not getting promoted. There's one very, very passionate comment about White Tiger. And the guy was essentially saying, I'm losing my credibility as a YouTuber because I'm not promoting White Tiger. I was like, bro, she's in God tier. God tier level champion. I think that's what some people forget, you know. This is the lowest tier, the mid tier. Mid doesn't mean bottom of the barrel. Mid means mid-range. That's what these champions are. They're mid-range. I didn't even bother having a tier lower than that. Because, like, do I really need to have 4 tiers lower than this? Like, bad, garbage, super garbage. Like it's not needed. Like, these are the mid-tier champs. Anything above that, you're good. You're solid. Amazing. Last time I checked, amazing is a compliment. And above amazing is freaking God tier. Like, when I started playing the game, a God tier champion was the best champion in the game. And these champions all have the power levels of the old champions that were the best in the game. So, this is still very, very, very high praise. Being a God tier. And I think some people forget that sometimes. Like, I'm not trying to disrespect anyone, you know, by not promoting White Tiger. I firmly believe she deserves to be in God tier and no higher. I don't think White Tiger is better than Black Widow Clairvoyant. I'm not going to promote her. I think these champions are better in a lot of different situations. Can White Tiger cook in some matchups and battlegrounds? Absolutely. For sure. Is she worth ranking up? Yeah. But is she beyond her tier? Personally, I don't think so. If more of you guys want to try to convince me, for sure, go ahead. But yeah, I just wanted to address some of those comments that I was seeing. All right, I think we can move on from Mystic. There was no changes. All right, Mutants. So there's actually quite a few comments, more than I was expecting, talking about Sabretooth and saying he should be promoted one more, saying he's actually kind of a little bit underrated. So Sabretooth got the promotion from Salt tier to Amazing tier, and yeah, that was it. I was perhaps thinking about a couple other things, but no, nothing else really. Saw like a couple people petitioning to promote Dazzler, and then one guy was petitioning to promote Deadpool X-Force. I think Dazzler and Deadpool X-Force are both incredible mutant champions, but neither one stand even close, like not even close to Onslaught, Sinister, or Jean. Like, no. They're in a completely different league as attackers, as defenders, with utility, like just a completely different league. It's similar to like how I had the Cosmic. You know, we had Deathless Nano Serpent, Dark Phoenix, and then 2 open spots. I don't think there's a mutant in the game right now that I would put here in these 2 spots. There's no one on the caliber of Onslaught, Sinister, Jean yet, you know. So I'm saving these 2 spots for when there is a champion of that caliber that deserves one of these big spots. Or if they released, you know, one of these 6-star lock champs. Like, if they released Archangel as a 7-star, he'd probably go here, yeah. That's probably, like, it, though. It's a weird what-if scenario, but yeah. Alright, but that's our mutant class. Not too much change in here. Alright, let's move on to Tech. So, yeah, Tech had a lot of change, actually. A lot. So, there's quite a few comments talking about some Tech champs. One was Omega Sentinel. And the thing is, like, I used to really like Omega Sentinel, but I think, again, similar to Sasquatch, she had a big fall off. And I would say it was, like, for like a year, right before she was released as a 7-star. Because, you know, she was released as a 7-star for the Omega Days event, 2024. But before that, for like a year prior to that, like, I think Omega Sentinel just fell off so hard. Like, so many people forgot about her. Just didn't want to bother playing with her. A lot of other new really good Tech champs came out too, overshadowed her. But she does have Nullify immunity, which is a very big deal. That is nice. And Omega Sentinel does just have a lot going on overall. So yeah, I definitely think this promotion is worth it. She just kind of fell off for a while. That's really the reason. And then Penny Parker, same kind of thing, honestly. Penny Parker, you know, used to be up here. People were even saying like she should be in the highest tier at some points, you know. But again, the thing with Penny is just that they started releasing every single Cosmic Defender had some way to counter Penny. And then all of a sudden, Penny falls off. But, you know, she is a good attacker, even if you can't play her on defense. So she does have that going for her. She is totally a dual threat. Same can be said for Omega Sentinel, but less of a defensive threat than Penny for sure. But yeah, both just pretty good all-around tech champs. So they're getting promoted to the God tier. And then we had Viv Vision. I was really going back and forth on this one. But there was quite a few comments talking about Viv. So, but again, there was one comment that almost prevented me from promoting her. One blasphemous comment that essentially said she had a bigger matchup spread than Cull in Battlegrounds, and I was like, okay, say whatever you will about Viv, but please don't start disrespecting Cull. Like I already said earlier in the video, I genuinely think Cull is probably the #1 Battlegrounds attacker right now, 1 or 2, and Viv is certainly not top 3. So. Yeah, but I do think Viv is good. I'm not trying to crap on Viv at all right now. I'm just trying to not disrespect Cull because he's the GOAT. But Viv is getting that promotion, man. I've seen her do some things on Battlegrounds attack. And again, this is another champion that I have not really gotten a chance to play test hands-on myself. But I've seen other people use her against me in Battlegrounds, so like I know how she scales. In a Battlegrounds perspective, I've fought against her in Battlegrounds, so I know how she is as a defender. So, like, I absolutely feel inclined to rank her. But again, that's where your guys' comments come in and kind of push me to promote her to the next tier. Which maybe I would have done myself if I had played her. But yeah, that's Viv, Simula's girl, landing in the Beyonder tier S+. And, you know, after having done a lot of these Rebirth promotions, I've been thinking in my head, like, where do I rank the Rebirth champions now? So if you guys want to see a ranking of the Rebirth champions now after some time has gone by, let me know. I think I have the list in my head. But yeah, nothing is changing in the top 5. We got Fam, Sentinel, Bastion, Zola, and Ironheart. Still feel very good about that. A lot of you guys were happy to see Ironheart get promoted. And then there's just one class left, and that, of course, is the skill class. So, over here, we already talked about Patriot. Oh, I guess there was no changes. One comment said I should demote Night Thrasher, actually. I think one other said I should promote him. I decided to just leave him. And then... yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about this. Yelena might be a little high, honestly. Now, with all these mutant defenders coming out to counter her, like we just got Cassandra added to the list, which we talked about. Silver Samurai, which is going to be on the next list. He counters her. And like she already had previous counters in game. Jean, Onslaught, Deadpool, Sinister. So... Yelena might have to get demoted, actually. Let me know what you guys think about that. I want your guys' thoughts and opinions. But, yeah. I think that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for the last day of September monthly tier list. So, just to recap, we got Solvarch landing in Gotcha. Oh, yeah. Speaking of, actually, that did remind me, the Maker. There was quite a few comments talking about the Maker. Some saying he should be promoted. Some kind of talking crap about him. But I was going back and forth on that, so I decided I'm just going to keep him in amazing tier for now, but ask for your guys' help and opinions for where you guys think he should go. Now that we've gotten some more time with him being in the contest. Do you think God tier? Think he should stay where he is? Do you think Beyonder tier? Let me know. But yeah, just to recap: Solvarch God tier, Cassandra Nova landing Beyonder tier S+. And then we had Cull Obsidian and Carolina added to the Cosmic One Above All, rounding out the top 5 for that. Hyperion Scream also getting promoted, and then Anti-Venom getting his fitting big promotion as well. Whew. So yeah, guys, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for this tier list video. And yeah, like I said, I am working on a Carolina video. I got some really sweet gameplay in Battlegrounds and Alliance War, and I'm going to get some other stuff, like some questing areas too, I think. So be on the lookout for that video. It's going to be pretty hype. But yeah, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for for the September tier list. I apologize, it was so late. I know I say this every time, but I am going to try to get the October one out sooner. October is my birthday. It's 1 month from when I'm recording this right now. It's September 29th when I'm recording this. Will be October 29th. That is my birthday. So I definitely want to have the tier list out before that. So I'm going to try. But yeah, thank you guys for bearing with me. I apologize for the late upload in the month, but it's here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please drop a comment so you can help me with these rankings, so you can help me make this tier list more accurate for us, for our community. And think about joining the Discord if you want. And of course, also create a code LAG. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you all have a wonderful, great, blessed day and a great month too. With October, it's my favorite month, starting tomorrow. So hope it's going for everyone in the community. Spooky Champs too. We're getting freaking Dracula. I'm super hyped. Just made a video talking about that. Dracula and Franken Castle. So that's going to be interesting. And we'll be discussing them on the November tier list. So be on the lookout for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.